Hey everybody, welcome back to the Light Side Music Reactions. Today we are reacting to a song by Avril Lavigne. The song is called Head Above Water. And it was recommended by Wally and Danny. And Wally initially requested I do this, and then Danny commented, when Avril was younger, she used to sing country and gospel songs at local fairs and in her hometown church. And I should listen or react specifically to two of her songs if I like to review music with a certain religious focus. Her song Head Above Water, she wrote it when she got sick with Lyme disease in 2015, and it's basically a song asking to God not to let her die. And then he goes on and describes another song that we'll get to probably when it gets closer to Christmas, because it appears to be a Christmas song. But anyway, Danny and Wally, shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for recommending this. This is Avril Lavigne singing Head Above Water, and this is the official music video.
I've gotta keep the calm before the storm. I don't want less, I don't want more. I spoil the windows and the doors.
I like that little thing, that hook she's got with her voice
Safe to keep me warm.
on the word more.
Yeah, my life is what I'm fighting for.
Right there, you heard it on 4.
Can't part the sea, can't reach the shore. And my voice becomes the driving force.
Nice.
I won't let this pull me overboard. Gotta keep my head above water, don't let me drown. It gets harder, I'll meet you there at the altar as I fall down to my knees. Don't let me drown, drown, drown. Don't let me drown. So pull me.
Okay. All right. So it sounded nice. It's kind of a slower song, starts out, but then as you see it progresses, it starts to build up with some energy. Lyrically, I've got to keep the calm before the storm. I don't want less. I don't want more. So she's like, I don't want anything else. This is all I want. Just help me keep this calm before the storm. Must bar the windows and the doors to keep me safe, to keep me warm. My life is what I'm fighting for. Can't part the sea, can't reach the shore. And so that line right there, I can't part the sea, can't reach the shore. Reaching the shore is something that sometimes we can do on our own. But if you're out, too far out in the ocean, believe me, there are times when you can't reach the shore. You're too far out and you need help. You're going to drown without help. Can't part the sea at all. None of us can do that. And so she's recognizing that this is something that's going on in her life that she can't fix on her own. And a lot of times God does give us the ability to fix the problems that we have in our life. And he gives us the ability to be able to do that. For example, people that have diseases, people that have sickness, illnesses. That's why he gives us medical doctors. He gives us the ability to learn how to do these things on our own. That he has given us the ability to do. These doctors and medical professionals, he's given them those skills to be able to do that sort of thing. And so sometimes, when we ask God to help us do something, he gives us the tools to be able to do it ourselves. But there are other times, like she says, can't part the sea. There are other times when we know that there's nothing we can do on our own. In fact, there is nothing. Even swimming to the shore is something that we can't do on our own. We have to do it with God's help. And the scriptures talk about how apart from God, we can do nothing. But with God, all things are possible. Talks about if you have the faith of mustard seed, you can move mountains. But really, when you think about it, it's not us moving the mountain, it's God moving the mountain. And that's poetic, of course. But basically, you can apply that to anything in your life. God gives us the ability to do things with his help. There's another scripture that talks about God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle. The caveat to that is that actually he does give us lots of things that we can't handle, but he gives us things that we can't handle on our own, but we can handle with his help. And so without God, we can't do it, but with him, we can. And so she's recognizing this and saying, I can't part the sea, I can't reach the shore, and I need you to help me do this. My voice becomes the driving force, and so her voice is calling out for help. And that's the driving force, is recognizing that you need help and calling out to him. And then that driving force of your voice gives your surrender to him and saying, I can't do this, recognizing that he is the one in control, and saying, I need you to help me, and then allowing him to do that, to become that driving force in your life that replaces your voice when you call out for help. I won't let this pull me overboard. God, keep my head above water, don't let me drown. It gets harder. I'll meet you there at the altar. Okay, that line reminds me, I'll meet you there at the altar, reminds me, there's this movie from the late 70s, Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise. It's kind of a comedy, but it's about Burt Reynolds plays this character that finds out that he is dying of a disease, and he's only got a short period of time to live. So he enlists his friend, played by Dom DeLuise, into doing the trick for him. And so at the end, there's this scene. I don't want to give too many spoilers about it, but at the end, there's this scene where he's had a change of heart, and his friend's trying to, honor that favor, because he's like, whatever I tell you, you got to go through with it. Don't, because several attempts, and he says, stop, don't do it. And then he says, you got to do it. And so finally he says, even if I tell you not to do it, still you got to go ahead and do it. But then at the end, there's a twist, and he goes to his friend and says, stop, don't do it. And his friend is continuing. And so as he's running away from his friend, he's praying to God, dear God, save me, and I'll do this, I'll do that. He's trying to bargain. Say, God, if you save me, I'll go to church every Sunday. I'll do this, I'll do that. And sometimes we do that. We say, I'll fall down to my knees, as she's saying here. I'll meet you there at the altar. It's almost that sort of idea, like we say, God, if you do this for me, then I'll do that for you. And think that we can bargain with God. And that's not the way it works. And that movie was kind of a humorous description of one of those circumstances. Check it out if you get the chance sometime. It's called The End, and it's starring Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise, and it's from the late 70s, early 80s. But anyway, just that one line, God, keep my head above water, don't let me drown, it gets harder. I'll meet you there at the altar, as I fall down to my knees, don't let me drown. And so basically I got that impression that the lyric is saying, if you don't let me drown, if you save me, then I'm going to meet you at the altar. I'm going to praise you. The right attitude for us to have is like in the Casting Crowns song, Praise You in the Storm. Like, I'm going to praise you not just as you save me from the storm, but I'm going to praise you in the storm. I'm not going to just, as the story of the three Hebrew children, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that were thrown into the fiery furnace. They told the king, we have faith that our God's going to save us through this. He's going to save us from that fire. But even if he doesn't, we're still going to praise him. We're still going to worship him. And we're still not going to betray him by bowing down to this false king and this false idol that you're telling us to worship. And so the whole concept was, I'm going to worship you even if you don't save me, even if I do drown. If for some reason it's within your will, help me to understand the purpose for it. And I'll continue to praise you if I live or if I die. The Apostle Paul talks about that in the New Testament. Whether I live or whether I die, I do it for Christ. And if I live for him, if I live for him. If I die for him. And so just a little note there on that lyric to clarify that, we don't want to try to bargain with God, but just accept his will and realize that he gives us tools to be able to accomplish the things that we pray for. Sometimes he says, yes, I'll fix it for you. Sometimes he says, no, I've got other plans for you. And sometimes he gives us the tools to be able to fix it ourselves. And so the important thing is to recognize that regardless of what the answer is that he gives to us, that we'll accept it and realize that he wants the best for us. And whatever he allows to happen, there is a purpose for it. Okay, let's go ahead and get back into this second verse. I'm going to rewind back just a few seconds. I love her voice. Even all these years later, she's getting older, still got a great voice. Okay, I like that too. So pull me up from down below because I'm underneath the undertow. That lyric reminds me of the story where Peter walked on the water. The disciples saw Jesus out walking on the water, and Jesus called to Peter and said, "Come to me." And Peter started walking out on the water, but had to realize that wasn't him doing it; it was Jesus giving him the ability to do that. And so when his faith started to dwindle, he started to sink below the waves, and he recognized, God, Jesus, I know I can't do this. I can't swim. I'm falling underneath the undertow, and I need you to pull me up from down below. And so Jesus said, oh, you have little faith, and lifted him up out of the water. And so that's an example right there of how a lot of times he gives us the ability to do the miraculous things. If we have the faith of a mustard seed, we have the ability to move mountains. Or you could walk on water just like Peter did, if we only have that faith of a child, that we just accept things at face value. As he tells us, we learn to trust him. And so pull me up from down below because I'm underneath the undertow, like Peter calling out to Jesus, pull me up and save me. Come dry me off and hold me close. I need you now. I need you most. And I think about the poem, Footprints in the Sand. I think I mentioned that in one of my other videos where I reacted to another song about the story of the man that was walking along the road of life along the beach. And he looked back upon his path that left the trail behind him of footprints. And there was two sets of footprints. One was his and one was Jesus's. And as he looked back, he recognized that the most difficult times in his life, there was only one set of footprints. And he questioned Jesus. He said, during the most difficult times, why did you leave me? And Jesus answered and said, I never left you. He said, those times when you only see one set of footprints, those were the times that I carried you. And so recognizing that when you just see that one set of footprints, it's not that he has abandoned us. Those are his footprints that were left because he was carrying us, and we weren't making any footprints at all because he was carrying that burden. Come dry me off and hold me close. I need you now. I need you most. And so when we're going through difficult times in your life, whatever it may be, here apparently she's writing this song about her dealing with a near-death experience and, wondering what's in the cards for her and praying to God to reveal to her, what's going on. I need your help. Can you please help me, lift me up out of the angry waves? And he lifts her up out of the water, and she says, come dry me off and hold me close. If you're going through something in your life right now, I want you to recognize that God is there with you, just like carrying the man when leaving the one set of footprints in the sand. If you're going through a difficult time in your life, I want you to recognize that Jesus is walking with you, and if you just allow him to pick you up and carry you, he can carry the weight of your burdens. And he said, my burden is light, and my yoke is easy. And he said, I don't expect you to carry anything that is heavier than I carried myself. And he said, if you choose to follow me, then I will carry your burdens. And the burden I ask you to carry and to bear will not be heavier than the burden that I take from you. And so come dry me off and hold me close. He does, and he will. Whatever you're going through in life, just put your faith and trust in him and allow him to take control. And he will lift you up out of the water. He will dry you off and hold you close. Okay, let's go ahead and get back into this.
God, keep my head above water, don't let me drown. It gets harder, I'll meet you there at the altar as I fall down to my knees. Don't let me drown, drown, drown. Don't let me drown. Don't let me drown. Keep my head above water, above water. I can't see in the stormy weather. I can't
Beautiful music video.
seem to keep it all together. I can't swim
Gorgeous scenery.
like this forever, and I can't breathe. God, keep my head above water. I lose my
Okay, gone to sort of a cappella and starting to build.
rescue me. I'll be waiting. I'm too young to fall asleep. So God, keep my head above water. Don't let me drown. It gets harder. I'll meet you there at the altar as I fall down to my knees. Don't let me drown. Don't let me drown. Don't let me drown. And keep my head above water, above water.
Very nice. Resources for Lyme disease. The Avril Lavigne Foundation.org. Okay, so that's interesting. Check that out when you get time. That website, that was recommended there at the end of her video. Avril Lavigne, Head Above Water. Thank you guys for recommending that. I really enjoyed it. The rest of you, comment down below. What did you think of that song? What did you think of my reaction? If you liked it, hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications. But before you do leave, after you leave, go ahead over to Avril's channel and check out the music video, and you can see all the stuff I was talking about in the music video, how it's so beautifully constructed and put together, and hear the song without me interrupting it and talking over it. But before you go, comment down below and give me some recommendations like these two guys did on songs and artists that I should check out, some of your favorites. And if I react to something that you recommended, I'll give you a shout out on the video in which I do that reaction. And once again, congratulations to the winner this past weekend on our 100th episode giveaway. Just remember that as you subscribe to the channel, I will put you in the drawing for our next giveaway when we reach our next milestone. And so make sure you subscribe and give me some recommendations on music to react to, and that will get you put into the drawing. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and God bless. Bye, everybody.